Apartment living in the inner city can often make people lose touch with the environment. With little room to move, people are now relying more on store-bought herbs and vegetables. I'm standing on the rooftop of Norton Plaza in Leichhardt in a community kitchen garden. There are currently 10 crates filled with herbs and vegetables, which need ongoing maintenance, crop rotation, and harvesting by passionate and dedicated members of the community. Community gardens have become a way for members of the public to involve themselves in the environment and discover sustainable ways of living. To learn more about this use of public space, I spoke to Roger Curry, who has been involved in this type of gardening for over 10 years.
Hello, I'm Roger and I'm one of the coordinators of the Glebe Community Garden.
As one of the founders of the space in Glebe, I asked Roger what made him want to start a community garden to begin with.
Well, I think it's very important for people who live in the city to have a little bit of green in their life because they sort of forget where everything comes from. They forget that cows make milk. They just go to the supermarket and buy a packet that's got something already pre-packaged in it. They forget that vegetables grow in the garden, and ultimately we need to actually understand a little bit more about why we grow things to eat rather than just go and buy them pre-packaged.
The movement from fresh produce to pre-packaging is largely a result of increased apartment living in cities. Community gardens are an attempt to change the public's attitudes towards the products of the environment and encourage them to realise nature's full potential.
I think this is a good thing in Sydney to use places that are not used for anything else. Like, rather than just turn it into a car park, a vacant lot should be a garden until a better use is found for it, perhaps. And I think any available land should be allowed to be a garden for a certain number of years, while development applications and processes go ahead before the actual land is developed.
The rooftop kitchen garden in Leichhardt, unlike others in Sydney, is funded by the Norton Plaza Shopping Centre and not by the local council. It is an initiative of the Magic of Growth program and was established to celebrate fresh seasonal produce. Back in Glebe, Roger shows us the fruits of his labour in his very own plot. At the moment, there can be up to a 12-month waiting list for plots in some community gardens, with members of the public rallying the council to make more of these spaces available.
Yeah, it's quite fantastic actually. There's a waiting list to get in because there's not enough room or space to put everybody who wants to have a plot. What we've got here is, this is mint, and I've got a lot of it. It grows pretty wild on the ground and it's really good in teas. And I've also got a lemon verbena here, which is, this is a really good in teas. It's also good as a fragrance in Asian food. This one's doing quite fabulously. I've also got some tomatoes growing up the wall here, which is pretty late for winter now to actually still have tomatoes growing. And as you can see, I've got quite a good crop of them. They're just ripening up at the moment. And here I've got a perennial basil, which goes very well with my chilli, which I'm having a little trouble with snails at the moment, but you can see I've got quite a few good chilies on it, like down here. Not quite sure which one they are, but I think they may be very hot.
Community gardens are a great way for members of the public to come together and celebrate the environment. By growing fresh produce, creating compost, and spending time outdoors, Sydneysiders might just be able to shake their inner city roots and get back to nature.